last year, 12-10, the fact that England have won the last two at Twickenham, the fact that England have sky-high confidence, the fact that England, I think, can just really work from the set piece and play really well. Ashton on fire. I think there's going to be a lot of attention from the French on Ashton, and I think they're going to win. Let's see how we've done so far in our predictions. There we go. Roger, you're 1-1.
It's not actually me, it's the scum cap.
You're 1-1. I'm 0-1 because I actually failed to predict 2 weeks ago. Quite alarmingly, I look like Megamind in that picture. I really should be. I really should be doing better. Okay, what else is coming in on the Twitter? I've got one from Coach Mokay at Roger Bennett at Embassy Davies. Will a win for England secure Martin Johnson's position for the Rugby World Cup in 2011? I think his position is already secure. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
We got a great one from @Douglas R, who says, will I get a visa to work in the UK more if I root openly for England in this game, Michael?
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen. A lot more tweets about the idea about letting the US and Canada into the Six Nations. Lock 5 at Embassy Davies, about that whole thing. Sorry, just trying to find that.
At Mycroft15 at Roger Bennett at Embassy Davis, please, can you mention Waterloo and Trafalgar a couple more times when we win this game?
I think we will. Facebook, Douglas R. Are you guys trying to make rugby popular in the States? Did you learn nothing from soccer from trying to convert us to the metric system?
I think that was my mother tweeting.
I do want to make it clear, because I get this question a lot from Americans. In England, in Britain, we use the imperial system for most things. We have nothing to do with the metric system.
And soccer is on the rise in this country.
Soccer is on the rise in this country. There's absolutely no doubt at all. We should say that in the stadium right now, there is a minute's silence right now for the terrible tragedy in New Zealand, the terrible earthquake in Christchurch. And for any of our viewers with connections in New Zealand, our thoughts go out to you. It's really a terrible thing. You know, New Zealand really is at the centre, at the apex of the rugby world. World Cup is coming there later this fall. And all of our thoughts going out for everybody over there. Anyway, Hugh, you're the only person here who's played in really, really big games. What do you think the players are going through right now?
Right now, they're excited. The French have to be excited right now. They're basically the underdogs. They're going to go in there on fire. I would predict that there's going to be a lot of physicality in the first few minutes of the game.
And I can see the smile on your face, because that's what you're looking forward to. The appeal of rugby for you is the 15s game, it's the physicality, it's the blood, it's the tackles, and it's that game.
There's no question, because now, see, what we're dealing with now, and a lot of football fans out there, we're going through that transition. Football season's over, so now we're jonesing for another game.
Yeah.
And this game has a great chance of catching on because it's physical, and if you just give it a chance, people, you'll really enjoy it.
Rugby is the snack that can keep America satisfied in between NFL meals.
That's very good. Anyway, the minute silence is over. The national anthem's about to happen. We are just a minute probably away from kickoff. It's time to turn it over to our BBC commentary team and the national anthem.
Come on, England!
And now, please remain standing for the England national anthem, performed once again by the Royal Hospital School Band and led by the Capital Children's Choir.
It's the hottest ticket of this RBS Six Nations. It could be the hottest ticket of the rugby year, with a likely meeting in the World Cup in New Zealand later on. It is simply France at Twickenham against England. Both teams unbeaten. The heat of the occasion, but it's been a stinker of a day here so far. The two teams. Andrew Sheridan is back after injury. Otherwise, it's the pack that has passed every test set in the first two rounds. Behind the England scrum, nothing has changed at all. Chris Ashton has scored as many tries in 2 games on his own as the whole England team managed in 5 games last year. That's 6 tries. Here we go, confirmation of the lineups. Perhaps Tom Palmer in the England second row has been the pick of the bunch, coming from almost anonymity to be one of the stars of the Six Nations. So much has been said about Chris Ashton on the wing, but the influence of Ben Youngs and Toby Flood at halfback has been beyond debate. France, well, this French front row has never lost when playing together in the Six Nations, and just last year, Thomas Domingo in particular gave Dan Cole a rough time. No Maxime Médard, France's most dangerous runner, but Dimitri Yashvili knows what it's like to kick France to victory at Twickenham. Johnny Wilkinson on the bench, just 2 points behind Dan Carter as the leading scorer in international rugby of all time. Good afternoon, Brian. A quick word.
The French scrum against the English line-out.
George Clancy of Ireland is today's referee. It's round 3 of the Six Nations. It's France against England. Tom Woods.
Inside.
Another of the finds in the England side. Tom Wood on the blind side flank.
Start moving.
Safely delivers to Toby Flood. Dimitri Yashvili will counter. The first touch for Vincent Clerc.
Leave it on one.
François Tinduc, the outside half. Yannick Josion in the centre, one of the lighthouses in the French centre. Here's the other one, Aurélien Rougerie. William Servat, little powerhouse at hooker. France have dropped deep. For Yashvili to test Ben Foden. Foden passes the test and then puts in something extra.
Well, France confident with ball in hand, but that was some reply from Ben Foden. Crucial on a wet day to feel those, and then the presence of mind to make a lot of ground.
Ben Foden, one of the dangerous back 3 that England will want to bring into play as much as possible. Meanwhile, up front, the French line-out. William Servat will throw.
And they've cut the line out here. And that's why they were a new English line-out. Potentially stronger.
England on the attack. Toby Flood. Chantain Happy. Toby Ben Youngs. Looking for the offload, finds captain Mike Tyndall. Numbers 4, England. Flood goes the other way, loose pass. Andrew Sheridan goes down.
Harry Nordica did well there for France coming up, stopping a potential 3-on-2.
England have retrieved the situation. James Haskell on the charge. Mark Cueto will have to go play scrum half. He knocks on. France is put in to the first scrummage of the game.
Well, a bright start from both teams, actually. Bearing in mind that the ball is very slippery, and you obviously can't see this at home, but it's very wet there. Harry Nordica again, important for France. And actually, when you saw him step in there, Had England been able to get away, he blocked off that opportunity for England to go left, and he anticipated well.
And it was a clash of heads there. Arnaud the Key bounced off and is still receiving treatment. Marc Lièvremont in the middle. France's coach has had a few interesting sound bites this week. Don't start, Brian. It's too early.
Sign of insecurity.
Long pause.
Now let's see what happens here, because England, I thought, would have a potentially better line out. France potentially have the edge in the scrums with their smaller, more compact front row. And let's see whether or not England can get decent ball, or whether the French can put them under the sort of pressure that they put other teams under.
Interesting that Arnaud the Key wears 7, but on this side at wing forward is Thierry Dussautoir, playing very much in the open side position, the harrying position. Good England scrum, and the penalty is their reward.
Well, that's a significant statement by England. Forget all the pushing and shoving. The manly stuff, the rugby stuff was done in the scrum when England shunted the French 2 or 3 yards there on their own ball. I'm not surprised Mas is unhappy, because he's been the one that's gone backwards.
I need captain.
Nicolas Mas, the prop of Perpignan.
Watch here.
There's a lot of tension here
The
today,
shove
but you must understand
timed
that this
well,
is not
and they've gone
acceptable.
down.
Now have a word with your
And you
team,
can
because
tell
if it
there
happens
which
again,
one went
your
down,
players
because
won't be leaving the field. I'll give you time now. Let's do it.
the French number 1, Domingo, was in a comfortable position. You don't drop a scrum right straight onto your chest.
Yeah, it's a shot. Your players understand. Your players understand. Shot of goals. Just move it over here a bit,
There's
please.
Captain Mike Tyndall.
Yeah.
Huge statement by England at the first scrimmage. And here's Toby Flood. Johnny Wilkinson, his moment will come. Meanwhile, his protege, Toby Flood, goes for the first points. He simply cannot miss.
Well, that's important for England, not just because it establishes a lead, but when you're a forward and you do good work like that, and you win the penalty, you want your player, your kicker, to reward it. If your kicker doesn't do that, then the heads go slightly down and you feel it's wasted.
François Trinduc restarts. Lewis Deacon waits, is tackled by Vincent Clerc, who didn't make much of an impression on the big England second row. England, in games until now, have been happy to run from deep inside their 22. France have put an awful lot of pressure. They've worked on that. They knew England were going to try to run, and they've earned themselves a penalty.
Well, that was good French tackling. They were up quickly, but tactically from England, having just got 3 points, goodness knows why they chose to move that ball. They've taken the restart well. It's slippery. They need to get back down the field. An opportunity for the French, and Lièvremont be really happy about that.
And the man sitting directly in front of Marc Lièvremont, the Englishman in the French camp, Dave Ellis. There he is with the white shirt on.
And whilst it was a, strange if not idiotic play from England, you've got to give credit to the French defence, because they were up quickly and they hit hard and drove backwards.
Dimitri Yashvili puts France on the board. We're all square at Twickenham. I'm just thinking, Brian, it was when England were running out their 22 in earlier games, Mark Cueto was very much involved. He wasn't there.
Yeah, well, the thing was, he came off his wing though, didn't he? And the different thing, the ball was just shipped along there. So many times you see sides going to get a score and then just give one away.
Great catch by Emmanuel Arnaud the Key.
That's a significant area for both teams. Both teams have done that well. Restarts.
Stop 1 and 3.
The big left boot of the centre they call Horse, Rougerie. Good running out of his own half by Ben Foden. France have stolen it though, and Yashvili knows there isn't a full-back at home for the moment. Mark Cueto covers, Ben Youngs inside him. And France settle for the line-out.
Well, that's a good kick from a tight angle, but well, not even better, but different work. Aurélien Rougerie getting in there.
Captain, this is important. Even though the ball goes into touch, you still can't move forward.
There we are. Tremendous work.
England!
Rougerie.
I need a bigger gap.
Now then, the French line-out struggled initially on a short one. Will they do any better on a full line-out? Because this is an area where, although Chabal...
Line it over, gone in 15.
France safely delivered. Here's Yannick Josian linking well with Rougerie. France keep it going to the far side. Johan Huget on the wing. And happy to give it width coming the other way too. Vincent Clerc.
Away tacklers!
Lionel Nallet, the second row. Tinduc. Josian rode the tackle.
Release him, 10.
Of Tom Palmer. Julien Pierre, the other second row. James Haskell makes the tackle. Tinduc. Tackled by Nikista. It sort of stopped France in their tracks a bit. Arinaldaki feeds on to Clerc. And England drag him over the touchline. It'll be a scrum down. Ball's gone forward. Andy Nicol.
Well, I've been really impressed with Ben Youngs so far in the Six Nations. I've been looking him close. The second time he gets the ball, we can see what he does here. What I like in scrum halves is to attack the fringes so that the fringe defence knows that all day he's got to go. But what he does now, he offloads to Mike Tindall. So what does that allow? It allows Ben Youngs to get back to his feet to make sure he's controlling the next phase and he can use his skills as a passer to get it away. Good start by Ben Youngs.
And in addition to that, and what you highlighted there, if you can see where Mike Tindall laid the ball back, really important in terms of getting quick ball. When players keep the ball close to the body, often can be stolen, but when you push the ball back like that, it makes it a lot quicker, a lot easier.
Martin Johnson just checking up on who's injured down there. Tom Palmer was receiving attention.
Well, let's see what the French can do to the English put-in the scrum.
Crouch! Touch! Pause! Engage! Stop!
France have got the early nudge on. And England have a secondary counter turning drive.
Move it in here.
Well, the referee, George Clancy,
That's what I'm saying.
doing it right, making sure that the scrum is steady before the ball is introduced.
He must get it up on his back.
Yashvili is shouting, get it in, but the ball shouldn't come in until the scrummage is square and stable.
Crouch! Touch! Pause! Engage! Stop!
This time it's a binding issue.
And a second good decision in the scrum by George Clancy. Again, quite clear, the law, bind on the shirt and the body of your opposite number, not on the arm. And the reason for that people do not realise is that the advantage you get by binding on the arm is huge, because the levers and mechanics mean that you can twist your opponent illegally under, and that's the reason why you want a fair contest.
England quite happy to control the pace of these set pieces.
Form the line out wide.
They've trimmed the lineouts. Dan Cole, Tom Palmer, Lewis Deacon, Tom Wood, and at the back Andrew Sheridan. Palmer delivers to Youngs. Nikista. Du Sautoir with the tackle.
Advantage offside.
Youngs again advantage to England rather, offside. The early call by George Clancy.
Well, James Haskell is fulfilling the role that Aaron Odiki does for France in taking the ball up. And that's ill-disciplined by France, because there was no imminent England threat. All they needed to do, France, was count the numbers. No need to stray offside. To be honest, I'm not sure who was offside there, actually. I'm sure that they've singled out Josion, but
Yeah.
it was marginal.
And the wheels of the machine carry on turning. Toby Flood, 6 points, France 3.
Well, if it wasn't clear before the game, it is clear now to both sides that the opposition kickers are accurate and will punish things, and that needless penalties may be very expensive in the end.
And what will England do? Safe catch for Lewis Deacon again.
Well, Flood's gone further back this time. I don't think this is going to go along the line. May well be box kick from here.
It is by Ben Youngs.
Well, Ben Youngs, they'll be disappointed that that ball didn't go higher and further and give the runners an opportunity to contest it. Nevertheless, it's safe off the field, I suppose.
Better than the penalty in front of your posts.
Considerably.
William Servat.
Keep that gap wide.
Toulouse hookup. He's one of the bastions of this French team.
Well, interesting, Dylan Hartley's gone right to the tail of the England line out to a lifter, and Ben Youngs is in the middle.
Lionel Nallet won ball. France tried to set up the driving maul, but England are in control of that until Servat comes away. And it takes James Haskell and Toby Flood to bring him down. Loose ball. Oh, Chabal, one of those horrible passes. He gave one at the end of the France-Ireland game, or the Ireland-France game, that nearly handed Ireland the game. England have turned it over, all because of the Chabal moment. Clément Poitrenaud, France's fullback. Plenty of blue shirts back there. That's very calmly done by France. Chabal put them in trouble. The three-quarters got them out of trouble.
Well, there's a wrong decision by England to run that. Sorry, to kick that. The fact is, usually you have a rule of a turnover play. You want to pass the ball twice, and if you need to kick, then fine. But there was a chance to run that, and it should have been kept in hand. Look, there's four against three. Turnover ball, always easy to run because the opposition are not in defensive mode, and that was a case wasted.
Up goes Tom Palmer again. And out it comes through Ben Foden all the way to Mark Cueto. Mike Tindall goes in.
Right through the middle. That was a maul. He's not obliged to leave it go.
And France have counter-rucked hard and well so far. Flood. England rebuild through James Haskell. Offload there to Dan Cole.
Roll tackle.
England have an advantage in numbers if they can straighten here.
Tom Wood. Dylan Hartley. Outside him is Lewis Deacon. Hartley again. Ben Youngs. England want to give this width. Wood drives it up first. Mike Tindall. Foden took it. It was a cut-out pass that nearly cut out the fullback.
Well, he had to jump, didn't he? And that stopped all his forward momentum.
Here he is. Chris Ashton. Nick Easter.
Leave it 12, good. Advantage offside again, 8 this time.
That's another offside advantage being played.
Thank you.
I don't know if England have heard that, because if they have, these were a chance.
They'll have heard it now.
Offside, number 8. Number 8, offside.
Number 8, Sébastien Chabal. He's not having a good 5 minutes, Sebas.
Offside.
Well, that one was different. And Ben...
Kicking tee is on.
Yeah, as soon,
The kicking tee was on.
you can
so
hear
you
the
must shoot a
explanation there
goal.
from the referee. As soon as the kicking tee comes on, the ball is dead in effect. You can't take a tap. But that penalty was one that was won by England as opposed to given away by France like the first one was, because
It's as if
France
the ball
were...
landed in the field of play.
Okay, even when it goes out.
Correct.
Yeah, because it was England that put the pressure on, and in the circumstances, in the conditions, very good handling by both backs and forwards there.
No problem for Toby Flood. 3 penalties. 9-3, England lead.
And on the balance of play, I'd say that's about fair.
Shorter restart. Arino, the key, challenge Tom Wood, and away comes Thierry Dusautoir.
Good anticipation there, wasn't it, from Dusautoir?
Tanduc straightens the line. The direct route. Chabal. Tackled by Nick Easter and by Dan Cole. Oh, penalty, that could be yellow. Hand on the floor till straight in front of the referee.
Number 8 playing the ball on the ground. Number 8.
The only reason I think that he may not have considered giving a yellow card there was because England had driven them backwards and there wasn't a French supporting player there. Didn't need to do that, had done the hard work already.
Nick Easter just couldn't resist. Made the tackle. Dipped the hand in afterwards.
Chabal put backwards there. The thing is, if he'd left that alone, Cole would probably be able to pick that up. A 50-50 for a yellow there.
Yashvili keeps France in striking distance. They trail by just 3 points. England have had the run of the play, have controlled the run of the game, but France are within 3.
But let's not forget that that was created by a superb bit of anticipation by the French captain, Thierry Dusautoir.
2 restarts, or 3 restarts, and from 2 of them, France have had penalties. Yashvili, left-footed, his natural foot. Claire got a hand to it. Josian plays football, but it was forward off the hand of Vincent Claire.
Now, I'd like to see this again because I don't know whether Ashton was balked in the act of catching or whether he was just getting in the way and therefore, well...
Well, I think if Claire makes contact with the ball...
If he does, yeah. Yes, he does. Perfectly fair. Perfectly fair. And actually, if that had knocked backwards, there was a big hole behind Ashton as well.
France, better scrummage. They've turned one over, and Chabal... Oh, well, he knocked it on, but France have earned themselves a penalty. Better set piece by the visitors.
As you heard there from referee George Clancy, 1 against the head. And you know, Eddie, when the referees make them bind properly, when they don't allow them to push the ball before the ball comes in, and they let them put the ball in straight, that's what you get. You get a hooking contest, both hookers actually striking, much more of a contest.
I agree, yeah, I agree.
And a significant win for William Salvat.
Okay, you can go.
Here's Mike Tindall, the England captain, but up front, after the penalty given against Nick Easter, as you said, Brian, Dan Cole was hovering around the ball. He had a bit to say to the French front row. There's a real battle within the battle going on between the front rows.
And I know it doesn't interest anyone else, but true aficionados of rugby know that that battle is the heart and soul of rugby.
It's a long kick for Yashvili, and there's the distraction of Andrew Sheridan receiving treatment in front of him. Hasn't put him off at all. All square at Twickenham.
Well, another clear signal for England that anywhere within 45 yards is prime opportunity for...
The bad news for England is it looks very much as if Andrew Sheridan is going to come off. They're playing on without him.
He's off.
Again, the easier catch for Arinal Deki, that he's made it, and he's also made a few meters. And yet, meanwhile, Sheridan is going. Ben Foden. The tackle by Dussautoir. How many of those does he make in a match? Arinal Deki from the back row makes another. Flood. That could be very good. Dylan Hartley picks up the scraps. It was good for England. The switch by Youngs.
That should have gone. That should have gone.
Haskell has taken it on and they've turned it over now. So promising for England, and Haskell, in acknowledgement, holds up a hand. Here we have, it's the south side, Andrew Sheridan, whose career has been blighted by injury. Hugely strong, but ever prone to things going wrong. Has given way to Alex Corbiziero, who comes on after making a very fine debut in the last game against Italy.
Pause, engage. Break it up. You've both gone down too early, both of you. I need a long pause.
Well, the good thing from England's point of view is that
The engage is good.
Caballero had at least one game before coming into what would have been a baptism of fire against a very good French front row. So he's that test experience at least behind him.
Pause, engage. Let's go.
That's a good French scrum.
Ball's out.
Oh, Chaval doesn't make life easy for Yashvili, who doesn't make life easy for Poitrenaud. And Uge says, oh, I can't bear any more of this. Let's get going forward.
Well, he couldn't do much else, could he?
Good tackle. Good tackle by Uge following up.
Hands rock.
Lewis Deacon.
Rock.
Youngs. Oh, hesitation by England. It's
second was not a knock-on. Still advantage.
No knock-on. Oh, there is a knock-on. Knock-on advantage being played as Vincent Clerc sees forwards in front of him and sets off around them. Poitrenaud and Uge had cut inside.
I do not know why he passed that ball, because he'd outpaced Cole. If he'd gone straight, he'd have drawn the fullback with two men outside him. Watch here. There, the other two England players had drifted. If he'd attacked the inside shoulder, he was away.
Nice big gap.
It is the modern way to pass without looking. Yashvili dummies. Chaval heads off on a charge slightly on his own, but it's quickly delivered for Tinduc, Josian, Rougerie, Poitrenaud. Rougerie again. William Selvat to Vincent Clerc, tight against the touchline. Forwards arrive. Yashvili delivers to Julien Pierre. He's on his own. It is there for Yashvili. Rougerie plays scrum half. Tinduc, Josian, little Thomas Domingo, the prop, batters Toby Flood out of the way. Josian at scrum half. Tinduc, Chaval.
Release, run away.
Yashvili. Advantage to England. Knocked out of Dimitri Yashvili's hands. Respite for England.
Well, what a great passage of play. The French threatening to break through, and England creaking but not giving.
Be more careful next time.
A tremendous ball-in-hand run from Thomas Domingo, of all people. Look at this.
Time out for a moment, proper. I see the number 6 takes you, hit you.
Some
speak
truths
then, okay, I
are
see.
eternal in the game.
Yeah, you don't go high on a prop. You're not going to win that battle.
All right, okay.
Great shot.
I think it's been a really good game so far.
Andy, anything developed?
Last one. On your ball.
It is a really
Steady
tight game,
scrum.
isn't it? There's
Give them
just
a
so
steady
much
scrum.
intensity out there.
Wait for
And
engage.
England had a bit of a chance with Dylan Hartley down here. And I thought Tran Duke
Time
was
on.
pulled in too easily. And you'd have thought he would have got that. But if we look at it tight, we go in tight. Watch Tom
Get
Wood's
down.
left, right league there. Just catches Tran Duke there. And he's pulled out of position, wasn't able to make the tackle. But England couldn't get it, couldn't get a try.
Back live, England feed a scrummage which is turned, whipped round. Nick Easter does very well under pressure. That was excellent work by the England number 8.
Well, the foreman of
Clement
great
Poitrenaud spoils France's opportunity to counter-attack. Simple drop by the fullback, so there's a contrasted skills for you. Easter under pressure, Poitrenaud under practically none.
Well, you know, any player can make a mistake, and let's be fair. Oh, he took his eye off the ball. Look at that. Took his eye off the ball at the crucial time. That's superb work under pressure. You know, former international number 8, Eddie, never easy when you're wheeling round like that, is it? Second rows, big clumsy club off of feet, trying to get hold of your fingers.
Needs to be just a little straighter for me. Just a little straighter for me. Crouch!
France
Touch.
have definitely had a little
Pause.
edge at the
Engage.
past couple of scrums. And again, they get the nudge on, and they've done one. England again
Break it up.
against the head.
Break it up.
That was a rebound off the
Yeah,
knee.
you know why?
He just went away there.
Tell me, Brad, tell me.
Because the scrum is being kept low
Move it
by
over
the
here.
French because they're shorter. When the ball comes in, Dylan Hartley didn't get his foot out. That is knee.
Okay.
There. Got to get all your weight on your non-striking foot and sweep the
need you
ball.
to bind up.
And the thing is, when they make them do it properly, a
need
lot
you
of
to
modern
bind up.
hookers are not used to doing that. They're used to walking over the ball.
Keep an eye on this, please, Alan.
Good scrummaging by the French front row.
We're just waiting for 7 here.
Sonia.
Well, Andrew Sheridan came off muttering to himself. Remember, he was only just back after missing the game against Italy. He's off to the medical room with a calf problem. It means Alex Corbicero comes on, having had animated instructions from scrum coach Graham Roundtree.
Crouch! Touch! Pause! Engage!
This is the battle between Domingo and Dan Cole. That's steady enough for England. Flood just paused.
Depends on the bounce here.
Oh, and Poitrenaud does let it bounce, and Chris Ashton did very well. And Poitrenaud in trouble. Oh, and France have the penalty. England again dipping a hand into the ruck.
George Clancy's been consistent. And our players know you don't. It's a ruck. You do not put your hands in there.
I only paused, Brian, because you had to collect yourself for a second then.
Well, so look.
Before
Okay,
that, I
let's go.
think,
Keep
just
It was before,
that.
yeah, it was before then.
Oh, that's a very good kick. Very good kick.
It is, and what you've got from a French point of view, you've got the line-out throw as well. If England had just let France win that and put pressure on legally, then at least when it was kicked off, they'd have had the throw.
All square at Twickenham in a half hour that is, well, I think it's flown by. It's been riveting.
Respect the 15.
What is difficult to appreciate if you're not watching this live is just how big some of these collisions have been.
I know the key delivers safely. Tanduk, little go and show. Ben Youngs made an important tackle then. And the support from the prop, Nicolas Mas. Southwark does not make the safe catch. Turnover ball for England. Surely they must run it. Flood. Tom Palmer. Dylan Hartley.
Roll away, tacklers!
Well, you've got to give that to Wood, I think, as a quicker man on the outside.
Vincent Clair, not offside. Tackles Ben Youngs.
Stay here.
Young's doing well to keep that available under pressure.
Oh, that's forward. There's a scrappiness to England's play today, Brad. Do you think are they trying to play too much rugby without getting the game won up front first?
Well, certainly there, because they had no momentum. And the other thing is here, look, Easter's got a run-up, even if it was, which it wasn't straight, you know, not pass backwards. The fact is that off a run-up of 2 or 3 metres, you can't get enough momentum. Got to come from much deeper if you're going to hit there. Much better to use as a decoy, play the ball wide and behind.
Forum after today's game. Use the red button, and tomorrow more live action from the Six Nations. Scotland versus Ireland tomorrow from 2:30.
Pause, engage.
The front rows have gone up. France steal a little march.
We'll have it again.
The French crowd have taken over at Twickenham.
Down too early.
Oh, France down too early.
Leave the ball. Just leave the ball.
Quickly taken by Ben Youngs. Flood. Poor pass. England. Well, again, the scrappiness showing through.
They've had 5 or 6 minutes, England, where they've been terribly imprecise. The passes have not gone in front of the men. Oh, dear. More composure is needed from England.
You got him?
There you are, that's how close it is. And it really has been like that. Territorially, of course, France have been on the ascendancy, but...
Think catch.
Ali Nor the key.
Stay.
Wins
okay,
in the middle, but England have done well to spoil it. To such an extent that Ben Youngs comes away with it. Haskell to Mark Cueto. Flood. Safe delivery this time to Mike Tyndall. And again, imprecision. Aurélien Rougerie has gone down injured. We can pause, Brian.
Power pass scrum here, white ball, or blue ball.
You can see the contrast there. England running in close, short channels with not a lot of width. Eventually get pushed out into touch. Conversely, when France are working these channels, the inside shoulders are being attacked. And well, Ashton's overrun that.
They did. It was a very tight little 3-on-1 there.
Yeah, but all the more reason why the ball carriers have got to step even further inwards. The inside shoulder has got to be... You drifted all there. What Chris Ashton is doing there, I have no idea as a winger. He's miles in front.
Well, he's not used to receiving the ball on the wing. You know, he comes off his wing so well. Just not used to it.
No, you're kind of falling forward. Rock solid. Mark is over here. It must be better.
Aurélien Rougerie has retaken his position in the centre. France again will have the put-in at the scrimmage.
I think he's been the pick of the French backs, Rougerie. I think he's done some very good work.
All
attacking defence, actually. Yeah.
Steady.
Interesting that Graham Roundtree's, the scrummage coach, went on there as a water carrier.
Now bring it closer.
Now let's see if George Clancy goes the whole hog and makes them put it in straight.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
No, badly fed. Shocking.
Not straight. Not straight.
I beg your pardon, Brian.
Touch.
Take that out to see George Clancy. Well refereed. Well refereed.
And there's no need either. France looking comfortable, and they're down to 14 at the moment. Vincent Clair has boot trouble. They're back up to 15. Clair needs to fill that hole. Youngs goes the other way. Happy. Mike Tyndall. Another floated pass. It does get to Cueto, but it didn't do the winger many favours.
But when he has to take off to catch it.
Dan Cole, he has to hesitate in order to take the pass.
Through the middle, that's fine. Through the middle.
Julien Pierre, or rather Lionel Nallet stole that, and France can counter. The kick by Tanduc Vincent Clair. He's going to do Lewis Deacon for speed. Ben Foden is there for England. Claire lets him get back up. But England are pinned in their corner.
That's well done by Ben Foden under pressure.
Lionel Nallet stole the ball, and England are here, right in their corner. Ben Youngs will take the kicking responsibility on himself. Curls it. Chaval drops it, but it will be a French throw.
Well, a number of times the French have exposed England's lack of numbers at the breakdown. England trying to commit the least number of possible players to win the ball. No problem there, he's come straight through. No problem at all. And England have to get more players in and seal those balls off, because several times they threatened to do that, and that time that they did, and it nearly cost England.
Don't obstruct him.
Clean delivery from France. That's not clean at all. They've caught the imprecision bug.
Hands off, 7 wide. Roll 6 wide.
William Servat. This is the captain, Thierry Dusautoir, on his own, dragged backwards.
Hands out. Stay here. You.
Yashvili to Yannick Josian. Tanduc up against Nick Easter.
Advantage, knock on.
Knock on by France. England will
Turn of the ball
have a
should go
scrimmage.
wide.
They have a chance here. Chantain Happy. Again, the passing is poor. And France come away with it. Players go down. I think it's Clément Poitrenaud. And Johan Huget claim the penalty. George Clancy says, what? Nothing. Scrum down.
Well, it goes over to Alan Lewis, his compatriot, Irish referee also.
Or rather, line out.
Get your numbers right.
England still under pressure in a much reduced line-out. Important throw for Dylan Hartley. He's responded to the challenge of line-out throwing, no problem this season. That one comes down to Dan Cole.
Hands out now. Captain, stay.
Ben Youngs nudges England forward. France will have the throw-in. Huget thinking about taking it quickly, but this is a good opportunity.
Well, this is the ball knocked down. Well, he might have got something had he not Hollywood in it.
It's Dusautoir with a tackle. We wondered how many he was going to make. The answer is plenty, as he always does.
Well, Alan Lewis, the assistant.
Quickly taken, William Servat. And the referee's whistle goes, hasn't gone 5, has it?
Not 5, I don't think.
Not 5.
Yep.
Free kick in 15. The ball didn't go 5 metres at the front of the line-up. From here.
Well, it's a great move by France. Apart from a yard.
That's a very clever kick downfield by Toby Flood. Huget, oh, it might just beat. Yeah, well played, the French ring. That'll be a 22. The ball was moving, so he could place one foot in the in-goal area and earn France a 22.
Oh, that's very close as well.
A good communication between Alan Lewis, the touch judge, and George Clancy. William Servat, live wire, and yet also a power in the French front row. Marc Cueto. There's a signal of just how hard the tackling is. Forward pass. Mike Tyndall.
And away 6.
Knock on by Ben Youngs. It's very, very untidy by England.
Here is the line out. Oof. Well, Alan Lewis is right there, and he does spot it. It was marginal. It was about 4.5 metres. But inventive.
Yeah, I was just going to say that France actually could claim to be the more inventive so far.
Well, I think both sides have tried to be positive. The French have been a little better ball in hand because there, look, Caballero nowhere near. It's a good move if it's done properly.
Yashvili was the target. Well, I was going to say jumper, but of course he wasn't jumping. He was just winning it. And in all, the key is down. They certainly won't want to lose him, the French. But he's all right.
Well, time is nearly up for the first half, and it has been like that. It's been it's not been a cagey battle, but it has been very intense and very close.
Dimitri Yashvili feeds more or less straight. Chabal with the pickup. And France have a good attacking platform here through Clément Poitrenaud. Johan Huget does well to stay in field. And France have a penalty. So in a game of obviously tight margins, will France be able to take a narrow lead into half-time?
Well, they may as well kick, mightn't they?
No, back you go. That's the decision now. Back you go.
The old 8-9 move, the long pass, and delivers Poitrenaud into space.
But you see there, Yashvili is running really tight, so he's not allowing the play to be shoved in and further over than necessary. And France, you know, end the half on a positive note.
Just the power of quick ball, isn't
Absolutely.
it? That wasn't held up at all.
Rugby's a simple game. If you get ball going forward and it's quick, get over the gain line, and everything flows from that. You get the penalties, you get more space.
This for the lead. It's all square. The kick by Dimitri Yashvili does not go over. 9 apiece in the big clash of the Six Nations. England 9, France 9.
Well, both sides with a lot to discuss when they take their break. But from a spectator's point of view, it's been an enthralling battle, flawed at times, undoubtedly. But there's been some tremendously intense play, and it's all poised beautifully for the second half.
Well, huge emotion from Dave from the very first moment, and things getting slightly heated early on, but Toby Flood metronomic with his goal kicking, 3 from 3, Yashvili 3 from 4, which is why we're level pegging at 9-all. And the point Brian made on the closing whistle there was that there have been moments where, okay, flawed, errors, but it's a very greasy ball. It really, obviously TV can't convey quite how difficult the conditions are, but in terms of intensity and in terms of how fascinating a match this is, well, it doesn't get much better than this. And it's almost like the colour of that sky has almost been painted by someone, the contrast with the green sky, the green grass. But anyway, there we are, 9-all. What can you say about it? Let's ask the injured England captain.
Well, we knew this would be close, didn't we? And yeah, it's just way too close to call at the moment, Lewis Moody. England, are they just guilty of playing a little bit too much rugby in the first half?
I think, you know, we've had a couple of unforced errors and a few mistakes. You know, the conditions are a bit greasy, and then we've seen quite a few drop balls and balls on the deck. But it's a test match, you know. This is a proper full-on test match and stuff you get excited about as a player, and you can see that in what's happening out on the pitch. You know, those little passes and things aren't going quite as we planned, but John will have them in there saying, right, okay, be calm. We pin them down there, we play the territory, and we make them play. So if we can cut out the penalties, then life's easy.
Yeah, what about these conditions? Because John's alluded to it, a greasy ball. Is that a factor in what we're seeing in this first half?
Yeah, of course. You know, the slippery ball in hand, the contact makes everything that little bit harder. But you know, you've got to do the basics, and we need to just keep trucking away at it. And it's a test match. We've said it. It's the biggest occasion today. We know what's on the line, and we've just got to keep trucking away.
Absolutely. Martin Johnson came rushing down these stairs here, and he immediately went over to Brian Smith and was engaged in sort of animated conversation. Is that discussing possible changes for the second half, do you think?
No, I think it's just talking about, you know, France have been pressing hard. They've been trying to get into Youngs and Floody. Harry Nordica's been flying up, so, you know, we'll be the guys will be looking at ways of counteracting that. But, you know, France have come here to play, as have we, and it's going to be a case of one cracking second half. I reckon there's going to be only a few points in it, and that's why you play.
Absolutely. I know you can't keep a smile off your face. It's a cracking game, and I know you want to get back into the dressing room, so thank you.
Cheers, sir.
We'll look at those facts and figures and you realise it's even Stevens. It's any way which one to call it as the sun sets in the distance. Possession, England have got the edge. Territory, France have got the edge. Tackles made, 42-41. I mean, it is anybody's game. Fascinating first half, Lawrence.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. I mean, as we've said, there's been mistakes from both sides, but it's been a fascinating contest, and you know, hopefully much more in the second half. You know, it's set up very nicely.
Serge, what was your impression of the first 40 minutes?
But the French start was a little bit difficult. Scrummaging was a little bit poor. They conceded penalties, and they lost first line out. And afterwards, they keep the chance, and Yashvili has to the control of the French team, did it well, and he managed the team and make them play well. And afterwards he kicked for 9 points, and I think that they take the chance, obviously, and they play well.
Well, you mentioned the first line out and the first scrum there, and Jerry, that in a sense that was England putting down a marker from the word go, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, this is kind of where you think France are going to dominate, but England got up there and pinched the ball. It was very well done, and it's a bonus that gives you the spur. And Lawrence, the scrum.
Well, just saying, you know, everyone was expecting France to really put the pressure on, and it's actually England that have pushed France's scrum back. And what was particularly enjoyable about that, from an England point of view, was that actually Toby Flood then added the 3 points.
And we've seen in the last two England matches a lot of offload play from England, all 15 players actually. Of course, it's easy to do that on a bone-hard pitch. A bit harder to do it when the conditions are like that.
In a way, I believed England done it a little bit too much, but this phase of play was led to through offloading, which was brilliant. And if England can create these opportunities and chances such as this, then it's the right tactic to play. But I think with this greasy surface, England ought to change a little bit, rethink, which I'm sure they're going to be talking about at half-time. Ball to Flood, because Ben Youngs and him aren't quite clicking at the moment. You need a steady platform. Ball to Flood, high ball up, get Harpy and Tyndall down the middle, smash it into Poitrenaud, because I'm telling you, that bloke does not want to be under the high ball with those two brutes coming down on him.
In advance of this game, we spent a lot of time talking about Chris Ashton, who, of course, we've barely seen in the match, partly because of the conditions, and also about Flood and Youngs as being the guys who are going to drive England. What have you made of Ben Youngs today?
Well, he's had a mixed game so far. You know, he's made a few decisions. There was one that Jerry was, you know, jumping up and down in the studio. It's just coming up here, and you know, it's a clear 4-on-2, 4-on-1 even, and Ben Youngs had a bit of a rush of blood to the head there and decides to kick it. And in a game as tight as this, those kind of opportunities are only going to come around, you know, every now and again. And the team that takes them, you know, it's difficult conditions for you know, for him. But kicking that ball away, he'd be thinking to himself,
unfortunately,
should have passed
it was Easter outside, and
yeah.
I think as Ashton is steaming out if you get a wide angle, you can see Ashton steaming out on the outside, and we all know that he shouts and calls for the ball. So, you know, if that was maybe Flood where Easter was, the ball would have gone out. But, you know, we've got to remember Ben Youngs has only played 9, 10 internationals.
Yeah. And if you were jumping up and down at that, you've been jumping up and down at the restarts from an England perspective.
Well, I just think you need more composure. You know, you're playing France at Twickenham in a big game. We caught the ball, and you know, what are we trying to do here? Are we trying to get the ball off the park? You know, England have just scored a penalty, and they immediately give away a soft option and let France back in the game. I think England, as they move in their journey of playing Test match rugby, as we just see Nick Easter giving away, you know, what we'd call a soft penalty, got to learn that it's actually okay to kick the ball off the pitch. You know, you've got to play a game much more around territory, get the ball off the pitch, put France under a bit more pressure, and build the score.
We're focusing almost exclusively on England here. What about from a French perspective, Jerry? They had one golden opportunity.
Well, we've got Vincent Clerc who highlighted here. His nickname's the Chicken. You might be able to see, actually, by the way he runs. His head's going 10 to the dozen, but he is pacey. He's made the space, and normally I'd expect the French to execute that, because Cole is blown out his backside there. He's not going to make it. Palmer's going to go out to the touchline. All it would take is a quick dummy, and he'd be through with support, and that would be an easy French try. But on this occasion, they butcher it and don't quite pull it off, which I'm surprised by the French, Serge.
Yeah, I think that they missed the communication there, and they want to play faster than be composure. That's why they didn't succeed on this movement. But Vincent Clerc did well during the first half. He carried a lot of the ball, and he was very dangerous when he was the ball at hands, and look forward for the second half.
Would you say you were happy at the moment, Serge, or are you just chilled?
I'm a little bit chilled because, like you see, it's more English side who struggle than the French team who really build up on the game. Then hopefully second half I will see French team get a lot of attack side and a lot of dangerous situation to score the try.
Well, we are actually at the very halfway mark of the Six Nations Championship, because earlier on today Wales narrowly beat Italy in Rome by 24 points to 16, and obviously half-time here means we are, as you can see from the table, this is 7.5 games gone, 7.5 to go, and tomorrow at Murrayfield, Scotland against Ireland. And that's going to be a very interesting game, given what happened at the Aviva Stadium a couple of weeks ago, because, you know, if Ireland had narrowly squeaked it against the French, we'd have been talking perhaps about a Grand Slam decider at Ireland and England at the Aviva Stadium in a couple of weeks' time. But anyway, the reality of things is this could be the game, and the second half is going to be absolutely intriguing. I've got some pictures for you now of what happened a few moments ago on the pitch, actually, with Prince Harry presenting a cheque to Kay Johnson, wife of Martin Johnson. There's Phil Vickery next door to her, and they've run from Devon to... Not Phil, I hate to say Phil hasn't run the whole way, mind you, but they, anyway, with a whole load of immense contribution of people who've made more than £100,000 for charity, and Prince Harry in the centre of that picture there. Wow. As the rampant run, as you can see, and well done to all of them. Well, France are back and England are back, and what's going to happen? It is anybody's guess, but your guess is?
Well, my guess is it's you know, fantastically poised. It's a true test match in the sense there's a lot of endeavour from both sides. Everyone's trying, but they just need a bit of composure. The scene is set for, I think, for a Johnny Wilkinson.
Simple game plan.
20 minutes time.
Yeah, simple game plan required by England. My worry is the leader in the pack. We need someone in that front five just to calm them down.
One moment may decide it. Just one decision, correct or incorrect, will be the crucial factor in here in determining who goes forward to round 4, still on course for a Grand Slam. Let's go back to Eddie and Brian.
The end of half-time, the beginning of the second half of the Six Nations Championship. George Clancy blows, Toby Flood kicks. RBS challenge between England and France is underway. Mistake in the French 22. Yoann Huget collects his own horror pass, and England will have the advantage. Oh my, whatever was said at half-time seems to have worked for England and not France, Brian.
Well, you've got to give credit to Palmer for chasing what looked like a completely lost cause. Yes, really taking far too long to line that up, because it was dealt with easily by the catcher. And now England a prime opportunity. They won't get many of these.
On comes the French weight. England crab across, that's out.
Good control.
Feeds Ben Youngs, and England now within 2 metres. Youngs again.
That should have gone wide.
It's gone into the hands of the front row department. The switch by Toby Flood. Marqueto, Ben Foden, and England have opened the second half with a try. Ben Foden.
Well, from a kick-off which looked quite innocuous. Work by Tom Palmer, who created all that. England taking the chance when it was presented. Powerful running by Foden.
Well, what a start for England. At the start of the second half, the switch of play. Toby Flood called the switch, held the pass.
See them tracking there.
A little bit of luck with the juggled pass.
Absolutely. But you had to be in the right position to take the ball when it came. Had he not worked as hard, that would have died where it was.
Well, he's missed it at last. Toby Flood cannot add the 2 points, but England have taken the lead at Twickenham. Ben Foden, the try scorer. This is his finish. The bobble from Marqueto, but Foden with the strength to go through the tackle. 14 points to 9.
Still got a way to go there. Finished well.
Tom Wood cannot take the restart, but the ball went backwards.
The ball was out.
Ball was out. Thierry Dusautoir could do all the damage he wanted.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
Chaval is back there with Poitrenaud. Here is Chaval.
Good work by Hartley there.
Excellent counter-wrecking by England. Turnover ball, Haskell. James Haskell makes ground. Youngs. Toby Flood. It's all England in this second half. And Chris Ashton scores.
No, it's not. It's a
Number
forward pass. It's a forward pass.
Forward pass. He sticks on 6.
It was a forward pass. I'm sorry, Martin. It was. No good booing. Lovely running, lovely hands there. Marginal, but it was. But what I have to say about the previous play was the work done by Dylan Hartley.
Crouch!
Simply flew in.
Pause! Engage! Let's go!
France under the cosh in this second half. Survive the scrum put in. Francois Trinduc does more than survive. He breaks out.
Rock!
Yashvili. Rougerie. William Servat on his own on the wing, but that's the strength of Servat. Captain Thierry Dusautoir.
Third man in, he's fine.
François Trinduc Josian. Trinduc, oops. Thomas Domingo didn't want that around his ankles. England have turnover ball and numbers outside. Marqueto. Flood to Ben Foden. Harpe. Chris Ashton. Well, DeLewis Deacon. Swift hands back to Flood.
Release him now. Sir.
Foden.
Release 15. Good. He was tackler, he's fine. Release tacklers, 12, release. Stay here.
Slight pause, but the rhythm of this second half has increased. No end.
Well, England have obviously been told to get more men into the breakdowns.
Tom Wood played scrum half. Mike Tyndall with the little chip through, and we shall stop at last for a line out.
Well, not a bad idea, but it would have been better if it had stayed in play. But England, as I said, have obviously been told to get more men into the breakdowns because in this half they haven't had the problem of the French counter-rucking as they did in the first half. France did very well in that area in the first half and spoiled a lot of England ball. In fact, picked a couple up.
Come forward. Scrum half. It's outside.
Just checking whether this line-out is inside or outside the 22. It's just outside. Oh, that's a penalty against England for taking the jumper out in the air. Nobody cares about that.
I don't think it was, Eddie. I think it was dropped, actually. Look at supporting players, didn't hold him.
Yashvili can't go straight for touch.
Carried back in.
Oh, yeah, they're going back in, back to where the line-out was. George Clancy said beforehand that line-out was outside the 22.
I told you it's outside.
Well, there, no, look, they just dropped him.
So Tom Wood didn't make any contact with the man in the air?
No.
No?
Yes. Yes, you're right, Eddie. Okay, I'm wrong. It was a penalty.
Dylan Hartley with the throw. The line out becomes a bit of a free-for-all, but England come away with the crumbs. Good driving play, as you say, Brian. More England players in there. Dylan Hartley. It's an important tackle by Julien Pierre, the second row. Flood. Tyndall on the straightening of the direction, held up.
Rougerie again doing good work.
Ball squirts out. England come away with it again.
Mind your legs.
Count those England forwards in there. It means they're a bit short-handed out here in the three-quarter line. Flood switches play, keeps it close to the overworked forwards at the moment, but still works for them. Tom Wood makes ground. Tight to the touchline, brings it in field. Dylan Hartley.
Rock your hand. Stay.
Flood, good pickup. Oh, bounces up sweetly for Nick Easter.
Where is the support?
It's there. Chantin Hape. Poitrenaud went in, and France come away with it, and that will stay in field. And Johan Uge, ricochet into touch, and England was stretched then. And Dylan Hartley knows it.
Well, had Hartley not got his foot onto that, a bit like a goalkeeper, Medal had an acre of space in front of him. Good work by Flood off his toes.
Overlap.
Can play this on what? Well, you would have seen if that had gone on.
10.
How much room there was for Medal in front.
Scrum half.
Julien Pierre, who was heavily involved in the rearguard action there. France, just 5 in the line-out. Arinol the key is one of them. There he is, Arinol the key to Yashvili. Chabal, tackled by James Haskell.
Well, it wasn't helped by the fact that when he was catching the ball, he was in mid-air.
Uge. Good strength by the winger. This is promising by France. Lionel Nallet in possession, but he is penalised on his own, hanging on off the tackle.
That was really good work by Lewis Deacon in the tackle and getting his body through. Driving, look, then getting to his feet.
It's Julien Pierre again, who's the ball carrier there. Lewis Deacon.
Number 8. Number 8 and 15 substitutions. 8 and 15.
We enter the zone where the replacements are made. Julien Bonner, Damien Traille. Looks as if Sébastien Chabal is going off. Johnny Wilkinson. It may not be the prescribed hour, but Toby Flood is limping at the moment. And Flood, here he is going off, so Johnny Wilkinson will come on and presumably line up a shot at goal. And this would take him past Dan Carter as the top point scorer in international rugby.
Okay.
Well, there are those who give Wilkinson no credit for what he has done. But
this is how Toby Flood got injured.
It's going to be a shot at goal. Go back a bit.
Just his ankle, I think, the right ankle. Chabal has indeed come off. Well, this is nice, isn't it? Come on, and first kick is a 47-yarder. At a guess.
Here he is, Johnny Wilkinson. Not a bead of sweat on his brow, but this to become the leading try scorer, the leading point scorer of all time in international rugby. It's a sight we've seen on so many occasions. Wilkinson scores for England.
Calm as you like. And if you don't give credit for someone who can do that with his first kick of the game of pressure, it was 48 metres then. That's disrespectful, and I think that England will look now to move the ball quicker, I think. They need to keep the French moving around, because I feel that if they can drive the ball and get quicker ball, the start they've made, they could capitalise on from here.
Harry the key under the ball.
Wide is in front of the kicker.
England offside, chasing the kick. So once again, England taken advantage on the scoreboard, and France have a chance to reel it back in.
22, but you can also have a scrum from where the ball was kicked. But the penalty is up here. It's only 5 metres in the difference.
Scrimmage rather than the penalty in their own half.
Number 7 in front
well,
of the
was it in their own half? It was just in England's half, because Yashvili can kick anything from 50.
Thank you, yeah.
Any news on those injuries or replacements, Sonia?
Well, Toby Flood's been sat on the England bench with his head in his hands. He's having not one but two medics have been treating a right ankle injury, applying ice. And I heard him say to them, look, it's really, really sore. So his game is very obviously over, but perhaps fortunate for him that the championship takes a break for another week.
And England have done exactly what they shouldn't have done. Having been in the ascendancy and had two scores that they've presented, this man with a relatively easy chance.
Yashvili wraps the post. And Julien Bonner wraps Mike Tyndall. England, though, scramble the ball away. Vincent Clerc sees where Damien Taille is in support. He's right there over him now, but England counter up with those numbers. Yashvili scrapes the ball away. It comes to François Tinduc. France in control. Yannick Josian. Now then, can the French three-quarters get a run at England forwards? Not easily, although now Vincent Clerc does come away.
Roll away 14.
Josian. This is replacement Julien Bonner. The captain, Du Sautoir, takes on Johnny Wilkinson.
Away tacklers, release tacklers.
Toulouse against Toulon. Bonner again. The ferocity of the tackling has not eased at all. Now trouble for France, because that's a huge rebound. Damien Taille goes back. Good anticipation by the replacement.
Rock, no hands.
Oh, England powerful at the counter-rucking. France will have to rebuild from deep.
Take a
well,
step,
it looks like they will get away with this, but that drop goal attempt, it was never on to do that.
Servat.
Carry back in.
That's going to hit the ground.
Oh. Advantage, knock on by Blue.
Knock on by Aurélien Rougerie.
Well, England have been lucky there because that ball could have gone anywhere. Can't let the ball bounce. Someone's going to claim it.
Okay. Time off, please.
I mean, Haskell is about a yard away. Normally, you're grasping at those. And the thing is, he must have been aware of that pressure. Was never on to do that.
Okay.
No, hits him on the shin.
A feature of this game, and you don't always see this, both sides have been contesting the ball at the breakdowns fiercely in attack and defence, and quite often defences are content to put the minimum number of players in, and as a result there are no room around and the ball is won easily. In this game, every single breakdown is being contested, and contested hard.
Touch. Pause. Engage.
Not straight.
Well,
Release the ball, 9.
it's squirted in loosely, squirted out loosely. France come away with it. Rougerie. Huget waits for support, takes the tackle. Du Sautoir.
Away, tacklers. Ruck.
Huget's there on a little dummy run.
I know.
This is Servat the hooker.
Away, tacklers.
Trinduc, a tester in front of the posts. Rougerie beautifully takes it.
Away, tacklers.
That's been a feature of his play in the Six Nations.
No, it's not. Scrum here going forward.
France will have the
Both
put in.
players have possession of the ball. Both you and him have possession of the ball. It's a scrum to the attacking team.
Well, that is a very concise explanation from the referee, who is right. And again, Rougerie playing a significant part. He's had a great game in many, many different areas.
Well, Andy, has the game gone away from France?
Oh, I don't think yet, Eddie. I think there's a lot to play out in this game. But what you want from your captain, as Mike Tyndall for England, is to give the lead. When this penalty hit the post, we've got it here. Look at this. He absolutely gets smashed there. Look at it. He loses the ball, but it didn't go for anything there. What a hit there by Julien Bonner.
I'll tell you, Andy, the problem for France is there was only Bonner there. If they'd had a couple more players around there, they might have made more of that. Just look at this today. You know, I can't emphasise how big some of these men are. You've got men who are 18, 19 stone running at each other at full tilt. Cheval, look. Oh.
Keep an eye here, please, Alan. 5 metres. Crouch.
Big point to the game for France. They need to score here, and they've got a great attacking platform with options either side. It's a steady scrum as well.
It's an advancing scrum. Great flick from Arinaud the key. Trinduc, the kick ahead. Is it the right option? It is a knock-on by Aurélien Rougerie. No try.
With all the players to do it, he's played so well in this half. Yeah, well, if you can lip read and speak French, you would have understood how he was upset. Oh. Right, it was a well-placed kick by Trinduc. Drew the English defence. Actually, never in possession, was he? Right over his shoulder.
Well, even if it's that close, and it was that close, it's just, if you kick, something has to come of it.
Well, Eddie, I don't think you can ask for more than getting a try-scoring opportunity from a kick. That was one.
Oh. And the chance may have gone. France again engaging too soon.
And France are going to come away with nothing from two huge,
under 5,
hugely advantageous positions on the field. They needed at least 3 points from them. It looks like they're not going to get anything.
They'll have a throw in at the line out because it was only a free kick.
yes.
Yep,
Okay,
he knows.
it's a substitution. Pretty much. Oh, sorry.
France still on the
Hold
attack.
throw.
That's
Hold
the
throw.
England 22. The forum after this game should be a talking point or two. And tonight, Scotland versus Ireland. Change for France. William Servat will just stop because Sylvain Marconnet is coming on for Thomas Domingo, who has had a very good game.
Well, Malconnet won't weaken the French scrum at all. Very powerful in his own right. I get the feeling, Eddie, that France have just tilted slightly and are in the ascendance at the moment, and if they don't get rewarded for this period of play.
The loop, Trinduc and Josion. Damien Traille, Huget outside him, important tackle that by Marc Cueto. Oh, it's gone loose for France, and Nick Easter does the very sensible thing of putting a hoof to it. France, Trinduc, tackled by Tom Wood. That is superb follow-up work by the England flanker.
I tell you what, Easter did well there, as decided to kick the ball instead of trying to drop on it, maybe knocking it on, but he's an intelligent run after that because he stayed in field. He didn't go right for the ball. He let Wood go in field. If you watch here, we can run this on.
Number 8, come on, let's go. Stay here.
England line-out is the upshot.
Stay!
Which
stay.
works well. Lewis Deacon down to his Leicester club mate, Ben Youngs. Now here's a chance. Ben Foden. Chris Ashton.
Ashton had run a good cheat line there inside. Couldn't find him though.
Johnny Wilkinson.